Hey guys, what up? Total Control 871 chiming in with my Gay Pride Month issue. I would be remiss not to do one. I am a gay man myself, a gay black man. So today we're going to be doing our Gay Pride issue. I did get myself a couple of Gay Pride shirts, huh? Pretty cool. And I got myself a polo shirt, Gay Pride, polo. So I look forward to wearing those. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about a very serious issue that's going on in the gay community. We're going to be talking about gender dysphoria. That seems to be a really big pushing point here that's going on. The communist deep state is seriously pushing gender transition. I'm not entirely sure if how much of the American population is truly and genuinely gender dysphoria, transgender. But let's see, let's give a little listen here.
Pride Month is here, which is not just a celebration, it's a commemoration. A time to remember the uprising at New York's Stonewall Inn back in June of 1969. To many, that moment was a turning point in the movement for LGBTQ rights, and trans women of color played a huge role, including two icons, Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera. Today, 52 years later, an estimated 1.4 million American adults identify as transgender, and while they'll tell you much progress has been made, they also know many challenges remain. This is Trans America.
Is it though? It said 1.4 million are transgender. I'm going to be honest with you, I really have no idea. I myself have only briefly studied the issue. Briefly studied. I don't even think I could even call it studying it. I mean, good God, I'm what do they call it? A Renaissance man when you're into a lot of things. I was into so many things. I mean, hey, you guys hear me talk about all kinds of topics. I can't get too far into one, and because there's just so much more stuff to study and to learn about in life. Okay, breaking the binary. That's a very good sign. And I 100% agree with that. Breaking the binary is very much indeed what I believe personally is what's plaguing America, the world, or whomever. Gender dysphoria. Like I say, I've really only looked into the phenomenon of transgenderism, or whatever you'd call it. I'll tell you this. I absolutely loved and adored the Independent movie. Came out, I'm going to say 10 or 12 years ago. It was called Beautiful Boxer. It was an incredible movie. Very poignant. Noom Toom, Asian guy, MMA boxer, you know. What was kind of strange is that I remember back in the early 90s, as I was getting ready for work, going off to work, one of my many jobs, Tom Joyner, it's a radio show, and I think he's national, if I'm not mistaken. They were making fun of him. They made fun of him. This is like 93, 90, early 90s, because this was... he wanted to wear a sports bra in the ring to fight his opponent. I believe he was starting to develop breast from his hormone therapy and stuff like that. and Tom Joyner, they made fun of him. Okay, I guess you could do that back then. I'm sure. Were you know, anything today, if you were to check in, I haven't listened to the man in ages and ages, but I'm sure, like anything that's in broadcast media, he is 100% fallen in line with the echo chamber. And if you want to be online, so that's what's happened there. I'm just saying that because I just remembered Noom Toom and whatnot, and then I saw his story had been made into an independent movie. It was a good movie. It's a pretty well put together, beautiful boxer, and it was beautiful. The story was beautiful. It really was. So please don't think that as I'm about to delve into today's topic that I am anti-transgender. I am not at all. I have, in the last, what shall we say, maybe about the last 10 years, I have began to question this whole gender transitioning fluidity explosion. Now, being fluid, transgender, the gender is fluidity. I don't think that the gender is fluid. I guess maybe I'll just simply zero in on what it is that I'm trying to say and say it. I personally believe that what people are disenchanted with isn't their actual genitals, bodily makeup per se, but rather the social rules that surround gender conformity. It's why I'm such a big fan of this statement right here, breaking the binary. I don't have to be 100% in compliance with this is the social standards for what a man is. I mean, I lost employment because there were employers that felt that I just simply wasn't man enough. I didn't look man enough. My hair is long. I don't care for your iteration of what a man is. Therefore, I'm going to exercise my rights as a private company, and I'm going to fire you. I'm going to terminate you. And of course, now today, you check in with the woke mob, and suddenly, oh my God, employers don't have that right. But then when they go to put the fucking face diaper over your face, then all of a sudden, nope, it's whatever the private company says goes. Vaccine passports, whatever they say goes. That's a fucked up face. It's the truth. Am I right? If there's anything that's fluid right now, it's reality. Okay, it's not just simply gender roles, but reality. When private corporations have the right to enforce their personal preferences and when they don't. Ha, I see. I think I'll shift now to my banned comment. Oh my goodness. As you can see, I'm not signed in on desktop. I just wanted to play some of this for you on desktop so that you can see it. When I try, here, let's get a look-see. When I try to sign in, I'm going to tap sign in, which I did, and yes, there we are. Unable to access, everybody. You've been redirected to this page for a particular product. It means that your access to this product has been suspended. Read on for more information. Basically, what happened was that under my latest account here, if you recall, my voting video had no thumbnail in it for X amount of days, and I guess, like I say, it's going back to the whole fluid nature of who knows what YouTube, the communist-controlled YouTube, considers permissible, their permissions here and whatnot. Apparently, they didn't have a problem with the video content, but I guess with the thumbnail that I that I later inserted, the one of Communist Murphy, done up in the Russian garb. Okay, in our Russian garb here. Let's see if we can maybe call it up for you. Yes, YouTube had a problem with this. And as a result, what it's done is that it's blocked me from signing into the desktop. Frankly, I don't really quite understand. Why do you then have an app? Why do you have these different functions of your platform? You know, you can do certain things on desktop, certain things on mobile, certain things on app. And of course, the whole selling point for having the app is it's supposed to be so easy. Anyway, I digress from all that. But yes, this is what was considered offensive enough to get me banned from the desktop platform. This right here. So make of that what you will. Okay, where we're at right now is on the application. This is Transamerica. Okay, the Transamerica. Okay, and we can see here that I've already made a comment. If you really want it to be fair and balanced, fair and balanced argument, then you should have invited ex-transgender people on who regretted their transition. Okay, I guess YouTube did not have a problem with that, because I'm telling you, I'm telling you, you never ever know what comment of yours is going to be deleted, auto-deleted by the algorithm. It truly is a crapshoot now. No, I really want you to think about that. I'm gonna, before I move on with this topic, just cook on that for a moment. When this whole sleigh ride began, it was just at the beginning, January 2020, which, quite frankly, that was strange. Normally, it's months and months before big tech is called in by Congress and said, you should be doing more to control your platform. Don't you find it strange? Late January, YouTube was already saying, we're going to be controlling what can be said about the fake pandemic and what cannot be said about it. Strange. I mean, literally, I don't think the ink was even dry on the declaration of a so-called pandemic. And yet, mysteriously, YouTube seems to have caucused and conferenced with their top brass to say, to put in place, to put the infrastructure, the monitoring censorship infrastructure in place to say what you can say and what you cannot say. Just think on that as we move on through this thing. All right, so I got 10 likes. Well, that's nice. We got somebody calling me a nerd. Down here it says, then show the people who retransitioned because the poor treatment by their family and friends is what made them detransition to begin with. Detransitioning isn't controversial in the trans community, but it's also rare enough and often forced. So transitioning isn't forced, but detransitioning is forced. Okay, just keeping track here. And it's a terrible argument against trans rights. Interesting. Okay. I'm pretty sure the person liked their own comment, but I digress. We got they got a cheerleader. Good for them. Boom, right there. Okay. Now, I then later say to them, I destroyed your argument in my YouTube comment, but YouTube automatically deletes it because it's too much truth for communist social media juggernaut. I made no threat of violence and didn't use a single slur, and still yet the free speech is eradicated. Okay. I did manage to get a transition regret documentation here put up here, because that's they were asking for documentation, so I gave them what they asked for. Trust me, it wasn't hard to find. If you Google transition regret, pages of the stuff come up. I don't know why they're calling it rare. Our guy here, Walt, who transitioned to Laura and then detransitioned, he goes on to say in his story, you can hit your link there, his inbox is filled, that's what he says, with people who are reaching out to him, ex-transgender, wishing to God they never ever mutilated their bodies the way they did. One of the things, I was trying to find a story, actually, there's just so much of it. Like I said, maybe if it was rare, I'd be able to find the particular story in my original comment, which we are going to go ahead and post. This is my original comment. Let's see here. Clipboard. There we are. And let's come back here. And then down. Okay. And we are posting. Alrighty. And let's have a look-see. And let's have a read. Where I say, oh, I see. So once again, trans blame everyone around them for their dysphoria and malcontent experience in life. If you click on to Walt's link there, you will see that I'm very much indeed correct. By the way, I wrote this before reading Walt's link. I'm not kidding, like I said. And mind you, again, it's not like I've done some deep cyber delve into the world of trans people. It's just my my own observations throughout life. I've known trans people. I support them. I'm happy to call you whatever pronoun and name that you like. However, your reality stops abruptly at my reality. Okay, that's why I do not call Richard the man that wants to be a woman, for the whole health minister, Pennsylvania, Richard Levine. I believe he wants to be called, is it? He wants to be Rachel, but he's not Rachel. You're Richard. And the reason why I don't respect that is because you don't respect my body. Okay? I don't want to wear your mask. I don't want your vaccine. And neither one is required to be safe and healthy. Okay? Okay? And when you force these things and you force your passports to coerce a society, then that's where you lose your right to be called the name you want, the pronoun you want. You're a man. You're an ugly man. You're an ugly man on the inside, and you're an ugly man on the outside, okay? And I don't have a problem saying that at all. If you want respect, if you want kindness, then you're going to have to give it. And right now, the only thing you're giving are ultimatums. Fuck you, Richard. Fuck you and your ugly, mannish ass. Okay? I feel good saying that. And I really feel good that I've got BitChute because, oh yes, this will be totally, I'm going to upload it to the channel. It'll probably just simply be deleted, or the channel itself might be eradicated, if I'm not mistaken. I believe there were, emails went out. Well, although we've got our strike policy, if we feel we want to take down your channel immediately, then that's what they'll have to do. They can give a strike, they can take it down immediately. Whatever, I really don't give a shit. Free speech will go on. Free speech will go on. Okay, let's go to our next sentence here. Not even finally getting what you thought you wanted makes you happy. Also, I'm going to say about 15 years ago, I was watching this documentary. Was it on Vice? Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. documentary. A guy wants to be a woman, young guy. He may have been like 19, 20. Maybe some of you have seen the documentary yourself. On the day of his, or no, but before the day, he had he had a couple of years ago. So he had a few hundred. They're like little paper links, construction paper. You fold it, staple it, or glue it. You make a link out of it, and you just make links. A paper chain, for like sometimes people decorate for parties and stuff like that. So he makes these links. Each link is a day that he has to wait for his transition surgery, and it goes on as the documentary goes on and on and on. Because I think the documentary chronicled like the last year of his transition, and this is about 15 years ago, where I think things were a bit more stringent. He had to see psychiatrists and all kinds of things that you're going to see here as I read on here what I'm talking about. Anyway, the day of his trans surgery, he wakes up from anesthesia, and he would tear a link every day, making the link of his chain shorter and shorter. I guess the chain was meant to symbolize that he's chained up in his male body, stuff like that. I noticed that before his surgery, as I'm watching this documentary, about an hour documentary, I'm like, wow, this guy, he's very quiet, very shy, incredibly introverted. And I remember hearing a bit of dialogue from a movie, pretty famous movie, involving men dressing as women, that really, it made me wonder, is this what's going on?
Going out with Mr. Bobby Ray.
But why not? Why not? We got a lot in common.
Oh, yes, like for starters, the same business in between your legs. Boink, 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 boink. And if he ever gets a whiff of your wiles, darling.
Here we go again. It's the Why I'm Always Right and You're Wrong song, sung by her lonely breastesses herself. Let me ask you, Vida, what do you know about relationships, huh? I mean, who loves you, baby?
Oh, be quiet, Chi-Chi. You're just deluding yourself.
Nobody, that's who. Not even your rich mommy and daddy, okay? I know what this is about. This is about jealousy. You're jealous because I'm going out with a cute boy tonight and you ain't. Hello, goodbye.
Ooh. You are deceiving that child. That boy does not know which end is up, and you know for a fact that Miss Bobby Lee is in love with him.
So what? So what if she is? Maybe I want to get a little something out of this, okay? What's wrong with that?
This girl is dealing with some demons over there, and I will not allow you to play games with other people. There are human rules by which we operate, sweetheart.
I'm just so sick and tired of this freakazoid white lady telling the black lady and the Latin lady which way is up, down, and under because she's vanilla white superior. You can laugh all you want, but I hope you pack and fix that Cadillac because I'm staying, okay?
You're staying, huh? Well, all right, Miss Jennifer Holiday. You go ahead and stay. Don't forget to write. Oh, Noxie, she truly does have a pinata for a head. Don't go there, Vita.
Well, she certainly is an oppressive gringa with a pinga.
All right, y'all. And you are a puta Spanish fly. Don't go
and you
there.
are an uptight, cellulite, dinosaur, fossil-faced, white, hunky, cracker witch.
You listen to me, you little sway-back third world. She went there. Selfish, self-absorbed piece of
Oh my God, I'm selfish. You're the selfish one, running into people's houses and bossing their lives around with them even asking you, okay? Mrs. Dear Alanda's painting my culo de...
How dare you think that... What is that noise?
You want to know what that noise is?
Did you hear that?
That's you running into everybody's house when you should be cleaning up your own house. Shut up, goes up. When I look at you, makes me want to throw up, and your mother's waiting around the corner just to lick it up.
Virgil is beating up Carol Ann. Most likely. But we have to help her. Oh, no. See, Vita, there are times when you help people. And then there are times when if you help people, you end up being killed. So, you don't help people. Well, she trusts me, and I trust her. Honey, there's a fine line between trust and stupidity. And there's some people you don't trust because they will use it to stab you in the ribs. I thought you would learn just a little bit more than this, Noxzema. Well, I thought you would learn how to mind your own business. Look, Vita, what is going on upstairs has nothing to do with you. Nothing. You deal with what's going on right here, right now.
Mommy, save it. Everybody's business is her business, remember?
All right, you go ahead, girl. You're gonna get screwed. I'm telling you.
Vita, you know, you're not a queen because you rule people or you sit on a throne, baby. You're a queen because you couldn't cut it as a man, so you had to put on a dress. That's why.
What did you say?
You heard me.
I've had quite enough.
Couldn't cut it as a man, huh? And that's what brings. I'm sorry, I should have previewed the clip a little bit better instead of having to. I didn't mean to play the whole thing for you. I just simply wanted to make my point. It is truly my considered opinion that a great many of these people who believe that they are suffering from gender dysphoria are in fact truly suffering from it's a dysphoria. I think they're just simply not content with the gender roles that surround the sexes. Men have to be this way, women this way. It's too limiting for some people, and some people feel that. Well, what's so bizarre here is that a lot of these transgender, they think they're transgender, they are locking themselves, in their attempt to be liberated and to be free. You're actually locking yourself into a single sex, female, and much like Walt's gripping account in that article that was written about him, he very quickly learned a lot of these so-called transgender people, they're learning that the hormones and the surgery, it never ever, I'm not going to say never, that's wrong for me to say. What they were unhappy with doesn't necessarily have to do with your genitals, okay? With your body. What they were unhappy with was society's approach to them as a man. Vita found that society did not treat him, Eugene, as his man's name. So as Eugene, he didn't feel that he got whatever it was, because I can't just simply pigeonhole every last single trans, person looking to be trans into the same pigeonhole. I later in my comment, I call for greater scrutiny of these so-called psychiatrists, and I talk a little bit more about it. Come on, let's get back to my comment, assuming it's still there. I left the screen and it's been over 20 seconds, so excuse me. It may have been deleted and I may have to repost it. Yes, it was deleted and I did have to repost that again. Okay, so not even finally getting what you thought you always wanted makes you happy. Okay. The news segment I watched chronicled how a young underage girl was allowed to transition to what she calls male. Like I say, I am happy to call you whatever pronouns and name you want, but I'm sorry, you're not a man, and if you're born, that's where I draw the line. You do not have the right to rewire my operating system. Do you understand? This is my mind. Only one captain in the wheelhouse, baby. Not you and not your fucking woke mob. You understand? I am happy to be as respectful as I possibly can. I do my best with the non-binaries and whatever pronoun they want to be called. You guys don't make it easy, but I try my best to play along as best I can. Be respectful. But I am sorry, there are only two sexes. You are either born a man or a woman, born male or female. Okay, when you alter your genitals and your body, go to whatever courthouse and change your name and alter your birth certificate, that does not change reality. And that wall, that wall of reality is what many transgender people are crashing into. Bam! Just smack right into that wall. You had your surgery, you did everything, you know. You finally got everything that you fucking wanted. You probably didn't even have to pay for it, okay? You got everything that you fucking wanted. And you're still not happy. You still have suicidal ideation, okay? And the moment her breasts were removed, she said she realized she had mutilated her body, her words. But what I found so striking, this is the part that really blew me away, because like I said, 15 years ago when I was, like I said, it's been a while since I've checked in with the trans community and all of what's required and stuff like that. And I know you like that documentary with the guy with the paper mache chains or whatnot. He was, you know, he had spent a few years. But what I found so striking of her testimonial was that she had obtained a script for hormones, initiated transition, had irreversible surgery, and then detransition. Hit that wall, bam, of, oh my God, the wall of reality. I thought that if I did everything the woke mob was encouraging me to do, that I would just feel so much better about it. The feel good, it did not happen. Much like an addiction or a vice, you get a feel good moment, there's euphoria soon after, and then I believe the phrase is buyer's remorse. Initiated transition, had irreversible surgery, and then detransitioned all within a mere 10 months. Wow, mind blown. Yeah, that's how I feel. So I put the emoji there. My mind was blown. I did not think that within less than the span of a year, you could actually do all that. I was just simply absolutely blown away. I went on to say, the news segment went on to talk about how many of these so-called psychiatrists are under immense pressure. Nobody's talking about this. The woke mob is too busy power drunk and reveling in their power. Under immense pressure and threat of lawsuit that if they don't prescribe the hormones and authorize the surgery, that they will be they will be sued into oblivion and lose their medical license. Here's a question that I would have loved to have asked the psychiatrist featured in the NBC segment. When was the last time you denied a transition? When was the last time you said no? Like I say here, do all people claiming to be transgender walk their door? If that's the case, then you're nothing more than a rubber stamp. You're just a rubber stamp at this point, who's terrified to go against the woke mob for fear. Because frankly, everything that I've said to you in this episode, these shrinks already know. I'm preaching to a choir. They probably already know that what you are disenchanted with is being forced into this role of being a man. If you're a man, then your hair has to look this way, you gotta walk this way, you gotta talk this way, da-da. And you don't have to. You know, it makes me hearken my mind back to that, was it Mattel that put the doll out? That Wonder Woman Barbie doll style doll. That I wanted that doll so bad. I wanted a Wonder Woman doll so bad. And I knew that I could never, ever, under any circumstances, put it on my Christmas wish list. Never. I contemplated if I could get my sister to ask for it. And then maybe after a few days later, I don't know what happened to your doll. That would have been horrible, to steal one of her Christmas toys. But, you don't have to. Of the links that I went through looking at some of the transgender regret stories, one guy, 12 years old, when he gets his hormone blockers and everything, 2 years later, by the time he's 14, haven't even become an adult yet, he's already regretting it. He says to his mom, "Mom, I don't know if I really am a girl or not." And a lot of people, "Oh, you're so brave. You've realized that you're transgender and you're being supported." And there's all this cheerleader squad, so to speak, behind you. And you kind of feel like, wow, I gotta see this thing all the way through. No, you don't. Okay? Why don't you just try being you? Try that. Okay? Whatever it is that you are. Okay? Because I'm not saying that nobody should ever be transgender. You haven't even given you a try. You haven't even really unwrapped everything. And frankly, as I was reading that 12-year-old story of regret, by the time he's 14, he's regretting it. He's probably looking around at, by the time you're 14, you're looking at maybe some of the friends that you were growing up with. They're starting to get their teenage boy bodies. They're starting to get their man bodies. And you're like, gee, wow. That's, you feel like you're missing out on something. But what you've done is that you've pigeonholed yourself. Like I said, you're just trading one set of conforming chains for another set of conforming chains. I do understand that there is a time element to the whole conundrum. It is a conundrum. I have seen the senior citizen men who lived their entire life, I suppose senior citizen women too, and now a lot of them, when they do get into their 50s, I think they made a couple of movies about it. Oh God, I forget them. He played the heterosexual priest in the movie Priest in the 90s, and of course he played more famously Falcone in the Christopher Nolan Batman franchise, where he says to Bruce, "Bang, I kill you right here in this bar in front of judges and everybody." That actor, his name escapes me right now. He played the story of a transgender, a man wanting to be a woman. He does go on to say that he's not interested in men, that he's not gay. I found that kind of interesting. There seems to be a lot of that, which kind of takes me to my next point here. Let's scroll some more. I myself am a gay man who has a few feminine attributes. Hey, I own it, whatever. But I'm fully aware of the vast differences between being transgender versus not wanting to follow all of the social rules surrounding the two different sexes. I'm actually going to do my Gay Pride Month episode on my channel. That's this right here. Which will most likely end up on my BitChute channel, because communist-controlled YouTube deletes everything these days that doesn't fit into their echo chamber narrative. But I'm going to be talking about the differences between everything. Transvestite. Transvestite. It's a word you really don't hear about too much anymore. I have begun to wonder if the terminology transvestite has just simply been replaced with transgender, which does cause a huge amount of confusion um, in this particular demographic. It's like transvestite. I don't know, maybe the word transvestite sounds kind of I don't know, a negative derogatory connotation. What was it? I watched a movie, not movie, the series Dexter, the ice truck killer, and apparently, was it him or the medical word that I learned was acatophilia. People who have fetishes for amputees. From what I understand, they don't like the term acatophilia. Philia. I can dig where they're coming from because pedophile. So it's got a fucked up clinical vibe to it, where they don't want to be viewed in that kind of connotation, and so therefore they like to be called devotees. They are devoted to their amputees, whatever. And I think maybe something very similar is going on with the term transvestite. I'm hearing this quite a bit from these men who will they. Do you understand the difference? Transvestites enjoy dressing in women's clothing. They're not looking to be outrageous the way a drag queens do that. They're looking to be outrageous. Again, you're going to have to forgive me. I haven't really delved very deeply into this thing. From what I understand, like either when transgenders or transvestites say they will slip on their very first pair of pantyhose, perhaps, or maybe put on their first pair of women's high heels, it's extremely important for the psychiatrists, psychologists, whomever, to listen very carefully to what they're saying. Are they talking about how fun it was? Oh my God, doctor, I'm here for my weekly sessions for being transgender, because you got to go through X amount of sessions. Hardly. X amount of sessions. If they're saying things like, oh my God, I put on these pantyhose and they were so cool. They were this, they were... If it sounds like a person was putting on a kind of frock, a kind of getup for a party, for for like a costume, I don't think. Now, mind you, I'm not a shrink. I don't have any medical degrees whatsoever. Like Bill Gates, none of us have any medical degrees, and like the governors and like the people or the drivers of all these public transportation vehicles and train conductors, none of us have any medical degrees, and none of us can force anybody to. I digress. I guess you can see where I'm going with that. When a person is truly, genuinely transgender, when they put their foot into the sheerness of pantyhose, yeah, I know you're probably like, are you sure you're not talking about you? No, I'm not talking about me. Like I say, I look into things and then I move on to the next thing. I wish to God I could do a whole intro, had more time. Maybe if humans lived 200 or 300 years old, I don't know. The sheerness. It's a sensation where the trans person feels like they're coming home to themselves. When they put on the high heels, they feel like they are finally content, and it won't make a difference. See, in Walt's in Walt's Link, he goes on to talk about how after he transitioned, he didn't have the support of his family members. He didn't have the support of it. I can understand how getting fired off your job, that is fucked up. But the thing is that you're truly be your your gender should not hinge on whether or not somebody accepts it. Because if it does, then it probably means that you're wrong. What is it? We've got a commenter here that said something about that. Yes, says FNLN says, then show the people who retransition because the poor treatment of their family and friends is what made them detransition. So it's why I say in my comment here, you're hinging this on who? Then if you're that frail where where you need life support, so to speak, to constantly make you feel like, yeah, I made the right decision, right? Didn't I? Guys, come on, rally around me. Oh my God. Oh God, I mutilated my penis. I need somebody to make me feel like I did the right thing. What do you mean? You should know. And if you don't know, then that probably means that you are not ready to transition. You should not be dependent on anybody else. That's why I say I have a very good sense of self. I know exactly who the fuck I am. I worked so if there are any there's any transition subscribers from the YouTube channel, you guys may have remembered how I worked at Toys R Us. I talked about working at Toys R Us, and they had a very Mattel representative. They'd come in. They have in their Barbie doll aisle curio cases, and these dolls in these beautifully elaborate gowns. I think some of the gowns were designed by Bob Mackie, and all these, and they had this wide variety of dolls, Native American dolls, East Asian, South Asian, all these beautiful dolls. And I was like, hey, well, I'm into collecting. I like collecting. Maybe I'd like, because some of these dolls, this is back in like 93, 94, those dolls were like between $30 and $100 each. So back then the minimum wage was $5.05, so that was a lot of fucking money. And I thought about it. Do I want dolls? Do I want to get into collecting dolls? And the thing about it was that you have to understand everything that comes along with that. It's not just simply taking. Now, of course, Toys R Us, they want you to think it's that simple and easy. Mattel wants you to think it's that simple and easy. To just take the ticket out the pouch. They had like little, because you couldn't just simply take a doll. You took a ticket. You took it up to the security booth after paying for it and stuff like that. Anyway, because they were expensive. And but what I would see is that the Mattel representative, they would come in and they just simply wouldn't go inside the case. They had to. It was a meticulous job. When they would put a new doll on display, they would take the doll out of its box. The hair has to be coiffed, and the dress has to be. They had like little steamers and things. So all of this you would have to be into, purchase the support equipment that goes along with collecting a doll. You're going to have to purchase curio cases. Otherwise, dust will just settle on it and It's an expensive collectible. So I'm like, you know what? There's just too much involved in it. But I mean, let's see. Yeah, I wanted to also talk about my own. I don't know what you would call it. I'm sure my profilers are about to grab their pen in their hand and their paper, and they're gonna lean in and make their notations about what I'm about to say right now. I don't think it's what I'm about to say is horrifically unique. It was more of a WTF, not what the fuck, but what does that feel like? What does that feel like? Lipstick. My grandmother's, red. I'm about what, maybe 10. I put it on. I spent more time licking it off. I was more interested in knowing what does it taste like. And what piqued my curiosity, it's simple, it's logical. I watch an entire second half of the planet's population, okay? Women, you know. I watch not just my grandmother, but all these women. I'm watching them as they are, you know, because my grandmother takes me shopping, so I spent a lot of time shopping with her and the women's departments and stuff. So the women, they wanted things like, I'm about to get off into a whole sidetrack. Somebody once told me that worked in the women's lingerie department. She was a senior citizen, and she told me that she worked in a lingerie department of a store like Macy's. It may have been Macy's, I don't know. Slips. Women don't wear slips anymore. She marveled at that. Half slip, full slip, or whatnot. And so, you know, slips, and, you know, you're young enough that your mother will take you into the dressing room, and so you're watching her make a big fuss over things like slips and bras and dresses and shoes, and well, eventually her obsession over it, making such a fuss over it. And then there was my own sister. It was a big fucking deal when she got her first training bra. And when she got her first, it wasn't a high heel, it was like a sandal with a wedge to it that was kind of high heel like. And she made such a big deal. These are like mile markers in her life and whatnot. And made such a big deal. And I'm like, well, I want to know what it feels like. So yeah, I put on my sister's wedge sandal, much to her, she was pissed off. Take off my... I put my big boy feet in her. Grandma, he's putting on... That was funny. But no, I just simply wanted to know what does walking on an incline feel like? What does that feel like? So, and once that was sated, all right, that's what that felt like. Lipstick, what does it feel like being smeared onto, put onto, men smear, being applied to your lips? And then I'm licking it off, and it's like, so that's what it tastes like. Interesting. Sated, you know, curiosity sated, and on and on. What does putting on a bra feel like? I put the bra on. I know, ha ha. These big old jump, ha ha. Go ahead and laugh. But yeah, back when I had my little bird chest, and boy, I miss them days. And I tell you sure you guys really want to spend money on getting big old titties? You don't want that shit. Pulls on your chest, give you a bad backache. Anyway, but yeah, so it is from my own personal experience being in the gay community. Back in my 20s, I spent some time at a couple of gay bars, talking to some trans people that were there and whatnot. So I talked to some people. Like I said, I didn't really It wasn't a deep psychological delve. I didn't spend that much time in it. I guess you could possibly say that I spent just enough time in it to know that I am definitely a man and quite happy being a man. I am my own man. I am fully aware that I am not the most masculine iteration of what some people would want. I don't care. I like being me. I don't want to change that other than my weight, you know. But yeah, I'm very happy being a man. And I'm hitting an hour here. I want you guys and you girls, you bio guys and bio girls, I want you to understand that what you are wanting to do to your body is permanent and everlasting. Everlasting. It's very bad when Walt said that when he reached out to his transition clinic that encouraged him to transition, once he began to express regret, they quickly hustled him out the door. Smacked the dust off that. We don't want nothing more to do with you. So please be aware of what you're getting into. Don't think that the people who are rallying around you now will truly always be there for you. If you become of a different mindset, then you're no longer compatible with the echo chamber. Okay, our echo chamber narrative here. Come on, where did I say it? Okay. Echo chamber narrative. Sloppy, but I don't care. The echo chamber narrative, don't think that you won't be excommunicated right along with everybody else. I don't know, maybe they'll even call you a white supremacist should you regret transitioning. Who the fuck knows? Like I say, everything is psychotic these days. All right, I think that's it. I'm hitting an hour here. Did I show you guys my... I think I did. My gay pride shirts. Gay pride, yay! Okay, guys. Gay pride. I want to see if I can get another episode. I want to. It might even spill out outside of June, the month of June. Adult sex ed. That's where I really want to go next when it comes to sexuality. Adult sex education. There's all this talk about, should we be, I guess basically, bluntly stated, should we be showing 5-year-old little boys how to fuck each other in the ass? You know, because as they talk about, you know, gay sex ed. You know, we need to bring it into schools, into elementaries, into, 10-year-old boys. This is how you see. Anyway, however, the series that I want, because it would be a series, because it's such a huge, complicated issue. It's adult sex, not just gay sex ed. It's adult sex ed. Talking about the connotations around, when you talk about gender roles, everything that's associated with your gender and having sex, the dominant, the submissive, who's fucked, who gets fucked, whether you're a man or a woman, okay? Who's getting fucked, who gets fucked, who does the fucking. There's all this, oral sex. Oral sex and climax. I want to talk about that. The connotation that goes along with, I guess bluntly put, swallowing semen or allowing your lover to climax in your mouth, whether you swallow it or not. The connotations that how men will, because in the heterosexual community, there's a lot of rules that are centered around bolstering the heterosexual man's sexual prowess. Oh, because they then later go on and brag. Look at me, I'm getting off into what I want to talk about. This episode is done. It's like I believe it or not, I most of my buddy, they're all heterosexual. And they would come and talk to me, and we talk, and their latest excursion under the sheets with some chick. And one buddy, he bragged how he was able to get 2 fingers up to the second knuckle in this chick's ass. Oh man, I got it to the second knuckle. And he's bragging to me and whatnot. So I'm happy to listen. I'm happy to listen. And that's what a buddy does. They listen without judging. But I'm just simply taking note of a few things that you feel emboldened. You feel like your sexual prowess is edified, increased, that you were able to, I don't know if it's right to use the word coerce or not, but they want these women to do certain things in bed. Anal, oral, stuff like this. And it's like a type of wooing, wooing. And then when the women give in and finally do it, we see later on in the relationship, the women are torn down for it. Either to their face or behind their back. Oh man, you should have seen it. I was all in her ass. I was fucking this shit. Yo man, she swallowed my load. She did. So there's a lot that I want to talk about. This is adult. We already know what sex is. Dick goes in vagina, ejaculation, insemination, gestation, birth, yada yada. We all know the basic rudiments, okay? What I want to talk about is adult sex ed. A very real, very frank discussion. Stick around for it. That's it for now. Enjoy your gay pride, and be proud of being you're gay. Hey, if you want to put on a dress, fuck it, man. Put it on. Put on dress, put on high heels. What's the guy's name? He's one of the guys from Queer Eye. He has a full beard, a beard I would love to have. I am jealous of his beard. However, he likes to wear dresses. I believe he does identify as male, but he just simply likes to wear dresses. Do it, baby. Do it. Wear a dress, wear a high heel, put on makeup if that's what you want. You only get one life and only but so much time on this planet. Do what you feel is good for you, but just remember, there are consequences to it. There are some things that you cannot undo. If wearing a dress isn't, if you later learn it's not your thing, you can always take the dress off. I used to have, I used to give myself French manicures with the tips of the nails growing out, maybe a little bit. Think Interview with a Vampire, how Louis and Lestat's nails are kind of slightly long, kind of like that, and I'd French manicure them and whatnot. I got to a point where I was like, you know what? I don't want this. It's just simply, I didn't need any. Nobody told me not to do it or this, that. My own conclusion. I am my own man. I know who I am, what I want, and what I don't want. And if things change, then things change. Giving yourself a French manicure and then reversing that French manicure is nothing. It's a simple. I didn't know I was going to be talking about French manicure, and I got my nail clipper here. Snap, 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 and it's done and it's gone. And if you regret taking away your French manicure, give it a couple of weeks. You'll grow them back, and you can do it all over again. But there are certain things on your body where if you cut it off, it will never grow back. That's it for now, guys. Total Control 871. Happy Gay Pride.